Now that the Dragon Ball Cosmology guide has arrived here on the channel, we'll be jumping around various parts of the series to explore all of the cosmos that came from the mind of Akira Toriyama and other creators throughout the history of Dragon Ball. I felt with this edition of the Cosmology Guide that we should go all the way back to the beginning. And what I mean by that is back to the first time that Akira Toriyama introduced demons in the late 1980s when the original Dragon Ball manga was being published weekly in Shonen Jump magazine. We're going to clarify misconceptions and give you tons of information about the original clan of demons next. Very early on in Dragon Ball Daima, it was established that the Namekians were originally from the demon realm. With the introduction of Neva, it was revealed that many years ago, the Namekians left the demon realm and established planet Namek. Before we get into this original demon clan, I wanted to explain that even though Demon King Piccolo Daima, refers to himself as the Demon King, this does not mean that he was the actual Demon King of the demon realm. It's more like a title he gave to himself, although subconsciously he may have been aware of his demonic roots. In the future, I'll produce another edition of the Cosmology Guide going into the history of the Namekians, but for now, let's go back to the beginning when demons were first established. The first time that Toriyama dabbled in introducing demons to the original manga would have been during the Demon King Piccolo arc. And it all started right after the 22nd tournament when Krillin was mysteriously murdered by a demon known as Tambourine. This was in Dragon Ball Manga Chapter 134 from July 21st, 1987. Tambourine was working for Demon King Piccolo as an assassin because Piccolo wanted Tambourine to travel across the world and kill any martial artist that may be a potential threat to him, especially those competing in the tournaments. Now, in this YouTube channel, I've already done a video called The History of Piccolo, where in the first section we discussed Piccolo Daima / Demon King Piccolo, so make sure that you watch that video so that you are kept up to speed on the history of Piccolo as a character. You need to understand that Demon King Piccolo, unlike Dabura, is not a demon from the demon realm. Deep into the past, specifically age 261, the son of Katatsu, known as the Nameless Namekian, came to Earth, and at some point he wanted to become God of Earth. We'll go into more detail on the aspect of being a god of a planet in a future cosmology guide, so stay tuned for that. I want to keep it simple here though. In order for the son of Katatsu to graduate into becoming God and take the throne, he had to expel all of the evil out of his body. So he had to cast out all of his sins, and all of this evil energy manifested itself physically and created Demon King Piccolo as the evil twin to the good side, who would later become the Kami, aka the God of Earth. Demon King Piccolo became the leader of the Demon Clan and caused a lot of problems on Earth and almost conquered it until Master Roshi's master, Mutaito-san, used the Demon Concealment Wave, aka the Mafuba, to seal Piccolo away for many years until Pilaf, of all people, found the rice cooker and unleashed Piccolo upon the world. When Piccolo would return, he would begin to create a new demon army, a new demon clan, by using what would be later known as Namekian birthing. Now, we have to get this out of the way now as quickly as possible. Even though obviously we find out later on that Demon King Piccolo is a Namekian, because he's made up of pure evil, this pollutes the Namekian birthing technique. So when Piccolo gives birth to characters like Tambourine, Drum, Piano, and Cymbal, the core of the Demon Clan, these children are not traditional Namekians. The Dragon Ball guidebooks, the Daizenshus, list them as being from a Namekian origin because of the birthing technique, but these are not Namekians. These are referred to as Mazoku. And in order to be a Mazoku, you have to be composed of pure evil. It does annoy me when I see people referring to drum and tambourine and cymbal and piano as Namekians. I mean, look at them. They look nothing like Namekians. And that's because what would normally be a Namekian rite of passage giving birth has been polluted due to the evil of Piccolo. As far as going the meta route, keep in mind that before Toriyama had ever even thought about coming up with Planet Namek and the backstory of Piccolo, Piccolo was a demon in his eyes, just like how Goku was a inspiration from Sun Wukong from Journey to the West, which would make him sort of like a yonkai. However, when Dragon Ball Z came along, Toriyama crafted intricate backstories for Goku and Piccolo. Now, as many of you know, the Lord Slug movie, written by Takao Koyama, was the fourth Dragon Ball Z movie, and that movie borrows a lot from the Piccolo arc. It's almost like a soft retelling of the Piccolo arc, and there we have a very similar situation. It's explained in that film that Lord Slug is a Namekian, but he's a very rare Namekian because he was born with a heart of evil. And he also has his own clan of Mazoku, and as you can see by the way they are designed, they're also not Namekians. Putting things in the proper context, Demon King Piccolo and the Mazoku were the original creatures or beings that were known as demons, but they're not related to the other demons like Dabura, Majin Buu, or anybody from the demon realm. As stated earlier, we found out in Daima that the Namekians were indeed from the demon realm, but remember, the demon realm is composed of many different civilizations and many different factions, and this includes the Namekians being segregated away from the other demons in the demon realm. There are many different races in that place. Dragon Ball Heroes did a very interesting story once, however, where Toa figured out a way to brainwash Dende and turn him into a demon clansman and create the Dark Dragon Balls. Now, Dragon Ball Heroes does this, but I've always felt throughout my life that if somebody becomes a demon, like Piccolo for instance, they lose the ability to create Dragon Balls because that's not the type of Namekian that they are anymore. They're barely even a Namekian anymore. But Dragon Ball Heroes says otherwise. Now, the reason as to why this information might be new to dub viewers is because back when they were producing the English dub of Dragon Ball Z and original Dragon Ball, they heavily dumbed down and censored the show, and therefore words like God and demon were very taboo at the time. We didn't even see the word God mentioned in Dragon Ball until Super Saiyan God in Battle of Gods, when the English dub of Battle of Gods came out in 2014. This is why I always say it's important and imperative to watch the Japanese version of Dragon Ball and Z to see how deep the series actually is. So the Demon Clan became the main villains of the Demon King Piccolo arc, and this is where Goku, Tenshinhan, Yajirobe, and the others battled Piccolo's children. And much like the Namekian birthing, whenever one of Piccolo's children would die, whenever one of the heroes would kill him, Piccolo would feel an extreme amount of pain. This is because he has a psychic connection to his children, and as they die, it hurts him. The idea of Piccolo and the Demon Clan would be resurrected with Dragon Ball Heroes because there's a storyline where a bunch of Namekians come to Earth after New Namek is destroyed, and we find out that Demon King Piccolo's old thrones were filled with dark and negative energy, and the Namekians that settled near it began to change as evil began to overtake their hearts, and these would become known as the evil Namekians, led by Narak, the Dark Namekian. So in the video games, Piccolo's legacy lived on and the Demon Clan continues. To learn more about the evil Namekians, as well as other videos that you must watch to fully grasp this concept, check out the videos on your screen right now. I'll catch you in the next edition of the Cosmology Guide.